Matt Drudge, so many others are really getting more hardcore, more intense, more radical, because we're not radical. The world is getting radical. Corruption and oppression is getting radical. The things that government is getting away with is getting so radical that people now understand. We either beat this or we're going into a very hellish place. And I say this over and over again. This is not some boss hog, rich guys want to run things and just took over America. If they left people alone, let people have some private property and things, it'd be bad. I'd be fighting against it. But I wouldn't be freaking out. Right. These globalists want a scientific grid. They say they're going to build a world government, and they've done everything they said they'd do so far. And I'm following the roadmap. I'm following their script to the next couple acts. And, man, it's like biblical mass death. More than 2/3 of the world killed by them. They write this. They say it. I think about all the kids that they knowingly are injecting with cancer viruses and mercury. I look at the numbers of disease, cancer, autism, neurological disorders, diabetes, off the charts. I find out all the Rockefeller documents. I mean, it's like, look, folks, there isn't a choice. And now, because this stuff is out in the open, there were so many active duty military, but also just retired or out, of the thousands that came out to protest Bilderberg, and they're like, no, you're right, it's all coming true, and they're admitting we're going to have domestic operations. They're admitting we're going to target the Patriots. They're saying that's the new threat, not Al-Qaeda. Well, that's in the newspaper. They're saying the new threat is the libertarian conservatives that are actually real Americans. We know the score. We're smart. We're what's left of America. They know we're the enemy. They're coming for us. I mean, folks, and you can't just join them and be collaborators. The globalists are pure evil. It's not like you're joining a gang and you're on the winning team for police and military and other folks. This is going to destroy everything. And even if you're corrupt out there, but not pure evil, do you really like the fact that autism's from 1 in 25,000 30 years ago to 1 in 58? Do you really like the fact pediatric cancer is up more than 10,000%? I mean, do you really want to sign on with Satan? And even if you don't believe in the devil, folks, it might as well be the devil, because only the devil could come up with something like this. I know I'm ranting, John.
No, it's all right, man. No, it's completely all right, because, I mean, you open the door now. I'll go you one more, Alex. The last time I checked, the Japanese were into dragons too, and I believe Fukushima is in fact the mouth of the dragon. Now you got the Russians. They were just doing joint operations up here at Fort Carson, Colorado. Colorado, and we're supposed to have all kinds of Spetsnaz and various other special forces in the country mingling with our special forces. A number of people have contacted. I don't mean like 2 or 3 either. I mean like a double-digit number. And there's a multiplier for the emails that you don't get that would have been sent, but they weren't sent. It's imaginary, but whatever. It seems to be fairly accurate, that are saying, oh no, as soon as we got over there into the Middle East, we definitely put on the UN patch. It's like, what? I don't see this on TV. Oh, that's right. It's mainstream TV. I forgot.
Well, again, how did I wake up? Okay, I'm a pro-gun, Ron Paul type libertarian, God, guts, gun, U.S. military type guy. Just saying, I just want to have low taxes and freedom and Bill of Rights. And they were trying to say in Texas, no more junior shooting. And I had little cousins and stuff that I was shooting with at the time. They were going to ban Boy Scout shooting, YMCA shooting under 18. That's why I finally said I'm going to get on the air in Oklahoma City and Waco and things. And I was just starting to really wake up to things. And I had all these former military and current military, and the police chief of San Antonio contacted me. I went and got an interview in his office. This is 1 year on air. And he's like, Delta Force is here trying to bribe us. I was in Army intelligence. He said, this is a covert takeover operation. You got to warn people. I mean, so I learned this from people in government who were patriots. And the media said, oh, Jones and others are crazy. There's no black helicopters. There's no UN troops. Then I got sent cooperative nugget footage from 94, 95, 96, 97 with foreign troops training to take on the American people in Louisiana and Mississippi. Then I went to urban warfare drills. Then I witnessed them training with the Boy Scouts to go in their parents' house and tattle on them and tell them where the guns are.
Oh, yeah.
And I would come and warn people, and it sounded so crazy. Even though I had video, people couldn't believe it. Now it's in the New York Times. They've got the Boy Scouts, quote, training to take on disgruntled veterans. Now it's in the news. They've got FEMA Corps. Now the Pentagon came out yesterday and said, yes, we want to have local army in every city to aid the police. That's already been going on secretly. This is a Red Dawn takeover. Our government's been captured. And if we don't admit this and have the military say no, who are full of great people, it's over. We're done. The globalists feel confident enough that in NLE09, FEMA.gov, they said, troops from 15 nations are here training to take on American terrorist or civil unrest. It's public. They have Canadian and Mexican troops patrolling in drills. Our troops go to Canada. Our troops go to Mexico. It's the North American integration by stealth. We got the Banff Canada meeting documents from 2006. It's in my film Endgame. Everything is happening. This is real.
How far off before it's so obvious to everybody that it's absolutely undeniable? I mean, it's undeniable to us. But to the average citizen, who, how long before, what kind of a timeline? Any way to predict when it'll be so obvious that even the most skeptical that, there's no new world order, that they're going, oh, yes, well, there is one, isn't there? What, a year?
I know you've got a top privacy expert coming up the next hour. And you know, there's a reason the NSA has come out and the CIA and said, yeah, your toaster, your new microwave, your computer, your iPhone, your Droid, your washing machine, that's the headline in Wired, CIA director, your washing machine is spying on you. And he laughed and said, yeah, we're watching you without warrants. There's no Fourth Amendment. He said, it isn't what it used to be. It's a coming out. They built the secret army against us. They trained the troops in secret. They compartmentalized. They did urban warfare drills to condition the public and the police on a regional scale to accept all this. And now they're getting ready to roll it out. And that tells you that it could be 6 months. It could be a year. They're getting ready for an Iran war. That's in the news. Yeah. And as a pretext to that, they will stage the globalist, the offshore banks that are manipulating our military, in this slow-motion coup d'etat by the foreign banks. They will stage terror attacks, blaming it on foreign groups, but also on domestic groups, so that the average person, when the drones suddenly hit the skies everywhere, they've got 10,000 in the Air Force alone. They want another 10,000 domestically, just under Air Force control. They're getting everybody ready with preconditioning for the big rollout. You can see the pre-programming. They have the big defense contractor company last week. PR firms say we're preparing to acclimate the public for full weaponized drones. Then you see the announcements. I've seen trucks and billboards with Predator drones on them, driving around saying, you know, global vigilance. Again, saying it's our military, but it isn't. It's been taken over by foreign banks. Again, we've been told the UN runs our country now. So it's very, very soon, very, very soon.
Alex, what should people do? I mean, I've got my ideas, but I don't want to say anything over the air. I really don't.
Well, first off, John, if you go back, I'm not just saying this because you're on Coast to Coast AM as one of their great hosts. They had the act announced, the emergency states. I forget the exact name. I can't believe it's not popping in my head because I confuse it with the Emergency Centers Establishment Act.
Yeah, the Preparedness Act.
It was in 2002. It was the states' reorganization. The point is, it'll pop in my head in a minute, or somebody in the office can remember. The point is, it was all over the news. They ordered, I can't remember that. It'll pop in my head over the break. The Emergency States Reorganization Act. I forget. The point is, they had that act. Police all remember. Fire departments remember. They ordered you and said, it's the law. You've got to take the smallpox vaccine, you've got to take the anthrax vaccine, you've got to take all this because we're going to force you to give the public shots. And there was a mutiny. I had police chiefs, I had mayors, I had fire department chiefs on. They said, they told us it's the law, we checked, it's not. We know these are experimental and dangerous. We're not taking them, and we're not making you take them. And I even had some Austin cops on who said no. So they failed. Okay? And it's the same thing with this. If the military, they said no to the anthrax shots that were killing people 2 separate times, in 2002 and again in 2005. We've got to say no. The military's got to have a debate about this. We've got to discuss this. It's already happening. Panetta already had to pull back a few weeks ago on, okay, the UN doesn't totally boss us, but we don't have to come to you, but we still might. So the point is, we've got to scream bloody murder, explain what's happened, that we're so used to Russian and Chinese and al-Qaeda threats, and I'm not saying those aren't real threats in some cases, The real threat, though, is the bankers. They're the one in charge. They're the ones stealing tens of trillions. They're the ones reorganizing our economy. They're the ones bringing in Agenda 21. They're the ones federalizing the police. They're the ones throwing the book at us. They're the ones saying $1,000 fines if your dog isn't in a seatbelt. They're the ones setting up checkpoints. They're the ones setting up face scanning and TSA and all this. We are occupied. We are occupied, and we've got to say no to it and come together, or it's going to get hellish, folks. The only way out is saying no. John B. Wells, take us out.
Oh, well, you heard the man. This is the Alex Jones Show, and we'll come back in just a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever noticed that sometimes an ancient piece of music from the hippie era, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, just kind of says it all? Maybe they will choke on it. John B. Wells in for Alex and with Alex on the Alex Jones Show, and Bob lives. Chapman lives. What's going on with Bob Chapman, Alex?
Okay, I knew about 3-4 months ago. He was on with us every Friday, theinternationalforecaster.com. Great guy. Been fighting the New World Order since the mid-'60s. Helped publish Gary Allen's book, None Dare Call a Conspiracy. And I knew that he was ill and was having trouble doing the show, so I quit having him on every Friday. And then we got word that from him that he was too ill to do interviews anymore, but I didn't want to give out his personal info, the fact that he had... I'm not going to say, you know, there's been some reports out there. He has come back to the U.S. to be with his family. He was living outside the U.S. And I got all these calls there that he died. It was a soccer player named Bob Chapman. So rumors of our Bob Chapman have been greatly exaggerated, but we should all pray for Bob Chapman. And people keep asking me to try to get Bob back on the show before he does die, if he does die. Folks, he could barely do the show months ago. That's why he's not been on. But just an update on Bob Chapman. Great guy. We love him. And since listeners ask, I've put in an obnoxious request to his family that if he wants to come on for 5 minutes, if he's able to, that we'll get Bob Chapman on sometime this week. But I wouldn't hold your breath, folks.
Well, bless him. Hey, Alex, you know, you mentioned a while ago that, hey, you know, you can say, oh, you know, you're crazy if you don't have to believe a Satan thing, a satanic thing. And I've said it many times. You can deny religion, you can deny God, you can deny Christ and all that. Please keep in mind, though, that the people at the top of the pile who are dedicated to enslaving mankind are all up in that Satan thing. So when we come back here, we just got a minute here. I want you to.
I think we got about 3 minutes. I don't know what atomic.
We got a couple minutes.
Ahead.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Now you're in Memphis, and there's something weird going on there, on a par with the Denver International Airport and their strange symbology.
And we can talk more about this when we come back for 5 minutes before your next big guest comes on and I leave you in peace, John. But I've been through Memphis before, and I had always heard it was occultic. The big 32-story, that's occultic as well, pyramid, big gold pyramid that they play sports games in, like the Louvre pyramid that has 666 pieces of pink gold glass, and Francois Mitterrand admitted he was a Luciferian who helped get that built, the French president, decades ago. But I looked it up, and it's in the Memphis Flyer. It's in all their papers. People can just look this up. It was rumored that it had crystal skulls, occultic stuff, that the owners were occultic, that there were little voodoo-type things in it. Sure enough, people got so upset about it that maintenance men went up, and it was in there. And then the guy that built it said, that's it, Memphis is cursed. You have no idea what you've done, you know, removing my skulls from the top of it. And then you have this guy who's into the occult that reportedly ice-picked the guy to death and then ate him and chopped up the body. Normal people aren't into this, but psychos are. And throughout history, psychopaths in government always believe in a devil-type creature and sacrifice people to it in every culture. And the globalists, I've studied them, are into the occult. That's why they're so evil, folks.
Oh, absolutely they are. Absolutely. They're all up in the satanic thing. Make no mistake about it. We'll be back. This is the Alex Jones Show. Well, sitting in with Alex. Alex Jones making his way back from Chantilly, Virginia, where he was really annoying the Bilderbergers, and has revealed some more intel regarding that bunch. They are ever so much more committed to their program, which has nothing to do with our program.